that is, India being of Brahma, a man chosen by God for the children of Vindu. Giving an account of Brahma becoming an Ayasu.
Ayasu is a sexless person, one without the possibility of sexual passion.
Of his labors and his resurrection after death. These are the races of Brahma, Gons, Shon, Gamma, Bis, Ram, Zerl, Mex, Shrive, Vat, Eun and Delta, each 1,000 years. Of Gamma and Delta, in the upper country, were born Usam and Hag. By Gamma, and by Delta, Yotes, Ramus, Borgal, Ottosiv and Rive. Gamma was of the fourth descent of Jito, and Delta the third descent of Iwanga, that is, Ihans from the land of Japheth, that is, China.
Ihans is the race born of Asu and angels, the half-breeds, from whom we are the descendants.
The ascending caste of light in the lower country was by Ram first. Then Zerl, Ihan migrants from the land of Ham, that is, Africa. Then Shrive, then Vat, then Gons and Eun, the half-breed Druks.
Druks are low mortals who desire no spiritual light, who cannot understand spiritually.
Then Shon, and then this. Jehovah, who by the Brahmins was called Almost, sent his light to the earth world once for every 100 generations. And the light fell upon his sons, prepared from before their births by the angels of Almost. Of the times before the submersion of Pan, each cycle was called one man, and the length of his life 3,000 years. But of the times after, Almost commanded the nations of the earth to be rated as a man, and it was so. Almost said,
that man may not be confounded, thou shalt number Osiris with the generations that believe not, save in the sun. But of the Zarathustrians, their number shall be as those who survived in the darkness of his cycle.
Which were, Zarathustra from the races of Shon and this, and of Zarathustra, Haman. Of Haman, one Chakaka, who begat Zor, who begat Theo, who begat Undasir, who begat Ma, who begat Romsat. These were tribes of the Zarathustrian order, who rejected idols, lords, gods, saviors, kings, queens, and all other rulers on the earth or in the heavens above the earth, save Almost, the Creator. And in him had faith that to do righteously, and practice good works, made the best, nearest perfect man. The light by the voice was lost in the 600th year after Zarathustra, but regained in Rome sat by the Ihans, whence came the tribe Lo John, who begat Thonigalahogharif, who begat Sabinia, and from him to Wautuchi Sabinia, which were 44 generations. The voice always came to the chief Rabbah. In Chusa king the voice was lost, but again restored by the Ihans, whose heirs were called Wasinchung, who begat Ava, who begat Irigavagna, who begat Ben-Haoma, from whom was descended 30 generations, the chief Rabbah of whom could hear the voice. Ben-Haoma numbered the faithists of his day, and there were of them 4,000, men, women and children, and all other nations and tribes in Vindu were idolaters. Through the descendants of Romsat the voice was again regained by the Ihans, through a tribe called Shrivyata, who begat them Saga, who begat Friavmargalam, who bred with the Ihans and begat Thace, who begat with the Ihans Anu, who begat the Ihans Maha, who begat with the Ihans Bra, who had both voice and power from the Father. And he was called Brahma because of his great wisdom. The angels of Almost had prophesied, saying, out of thy seed shall come one called Brahma, who shall have Suis.
That is, a person who can see with the eyes closed, or one who can hear angel voices.
With power. Things that were revealed to Zarathustra have been lost, but shall be recovered in Brahma. Romsat had prophesied, moreover, with the coming of Brahma is the end of the Ihan race in Sham, that is, in India. God spake in Cosmon, saying,
let no man say, with Brahma, or with Abram, that is, Abraham, or with Po, or with Iwata, that is, Heawatha, was the beginning of the doctrine of one spirit. For since man walked upright on the earth, behold, I have said unto him, Thou shalt have but one God, even the Creator. And in the cycles of my times I have raised up many who have comprehended my words, but others constantly put away the I am, and raise up idols instead. But let all men understand who and what is meant by the terms Po, and Abram, and Brahma, and Devata, which is, that though I walked the earth with these, teaching and speaking through them, yet none of these were idolized by men. For the nations of the earth, in the time of these 4 men, comprehended that they were not gods, but men through whom, and to whom, I, even God, had spoken.
Brahma said,
Have all men stars? Behold, since my childhood up, I have had a star above my forehead.
No man could answer Brahma. They said, Brahma is foolish, with all his wisdom. Brahma asked the star,
Who art thou?
God said,
I am thy star. I am the light of the second heavens.
Brahma asked,
What is thy name, O star, thou mysterious light?
God said,
Call me almost. I am the same light that spoke to Zarathustra in the olden time.
Brahma asked,
Who art thou, foe or must thou voice of light?
God said,
With one only shalt thou commune, thy Creator. One only shalt thou worship, he who made thee alive.
Brahma said,
Why hast thou taken up thy abode above my head?
God said,
Attain thou to be one with thy Creator, in wisdom, and goodness, and purity, and thou shalt answer thine own questions.
Then Brahma applied to the Rabbah, the Zarathustrian priests, and he learned abnegation of self, and the rites and ceremonies of the ancients. When Brahma was grown up, God said to him,
Arise on the morrow, my son, and I will lead thee into another country, where thou shalt marry, and settle down for a long season.
Brahma said,
Peaceful have been my slumbers, and joyous my wakeful hours all my life. I have made labor a pleasure, and I give all I have to the poor, doing thy commandments, with all my wisdom and strength. From my youth up I have killed not any living creature of thine that goeth on the earth, or swimmeth in the waters, or fleeth in the air. Neither ate I of anything that had ever breathed the breath of life, and I have been most abstemious in plain food and water only, according to the Zarathustrian law. Hear thou me, foe or must, for I will break